Hello everybody, mega goal number 5, third secondary unit 1 for conversation. اليوم بيكون درسنا درس المحادثة في unit 1. Okay, now let's move on. As usual, I'd like to start with the objectives. الأهداف. Since that we have a conversation lesson, the first objective, we should listen to a conversation to answer the question. راح نسمع إلى محادثة عشان نجاوب على الأسئلة. To role play a similar conversation. محاكاة لنفس المحادثة. 3. We have to read and give the meaning of some expression. You will be learning some expression, بعض التعبيرات, and we will read them and give the meaning of them as well. And the fourth objective, we should we should be able to use negotiation expression. Okay, and I'll explain to you the meaning of negotiation later on. راح أشرح لكم معناها بعدين. Okay, so these are the objectives for today's lesson. It's a very interesting and an easy lesson, and you will see. Okay, so here we have the conversation. Okay, first, for a start, if I ask you to look at the picture, can you tell me what do you see in this picture? What do you see in this picture? Yes, there is a man or a boy. What is he doing? He's cutting probably carrots. And where is he? He's probably in the kitchen. Okay, and right now you will listen to a conversation between Badr and Adnan. Badr and Adnan are moving to live with each other. Okay, moving in to live with each other. راح ينتقلون للعيش سويا. Listen to the conversation between Badr and Adnan. After the conversation, we will discuss it, give the meaning of the new words, and answer a couple of questions. Okay, so get ready to listen. راح نسمع نناقش ونتعلم الكلمات الجديدة وبنجاوب على بعض الأسئلة. So please try to follow up as you listen to the recording.
Page 10. 4. Conversation.
I'm really excited that we're going to share an apartment to save money while we study in New York.
I am too. But you know, a lot of friends end up arguing about chores, so I was thinking it might be a good idea for us to divide up the chores before we move in.
Yeah, I do think we should discuss that. I'm sure we can work out a fair division of chores.
Of course, we'll each clean our own room, and since there are 2 bathrooms, how about if I clean one and you clean the other?
That's fair. And each week we can take turns cleaning the rest of the apartment.
Hey, do you want to do our laundry together so that only one of us has to go to the laundromat each week?
We're on the same wavelength. I was just going to suggest that.
I really don't like folding the wash. If I wash the laundry, would you be willing to do the folding?
No sweat. And how about cooking? I don't mind cleaning, but cooking is really not my cup of tea. Would you do the cooking if I did the cleaning up?
Sorry, but if there's one chore I hate, it's cooking.
Well, it looks like we're going to be eating a lot of takeout.
Okay, so right now you listen to a conversation between Adnan and Badr. Okay, if I ask you what they were talking about, what were they talking about? Yes. So they were talking about how are they gonna divide the chores between them when they move together in an apartment or to an apartment in New York. راح ينتقلون للعيش سويا في شقة في نيويورك ويتفقون على كيف يقسمون بينهم الchores اللي هي الأعمال المنزلية. And it's crystal clear that they are doing it in a friendly way. يعني واضح إنهم قاعدين يسوونها بطريقة ودية. So they are قاعدين يتفاوضون. So right now you know the meaning of negotiation اللي هي التفاوض, and they were negotiating how to divide the chores between them, كيف يقسمون الأعمال المنزلية between them. خلاص. So they were talking about how who's gonna clean the rooms or the bathrooms, مين اللي بينظف الحمامات وانتو بكرامة, وكذلك الغرف. And of course they talked also about doing the laundry, خلاص, اللي هو غسيل الملابس. Okay, so they seem they were on the same wavelength. I'm gonna explain to you what they mean by that, ايش اللي يقصدون فيها. And by the end of the conversation, نهاية المحادثة, there was one chore which they do not, both of them do not like doing. واحد من الأعمال المنزلية ما يحبون, اثنينهم يعني ما يحبون يسوونه, which is what? The cooking. So Badr says at the end of this conversation, it looks like we're going to be eating a lot of takeout. راح يطلبون يعني من برا كثير. Okay, so that's the explanation of the conversation between Badr and Adnan and Brief. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is the new words. You have listened to the word chores often. سمعتوها كثير. I'm gonna read it. Chores. And from the picture, and I've translated the words in Arabic, you know the meaning of the word chores. Now they talked about doing the laundry. Okay, laundry. So the laundry is one of the house chores. The laundry is one of the house chores. Now we have a couple of questions about the conversation. The first question, okay, you can just go back to the conversation, to the script, or يعني للنص, and you find out the answer to this question. What problem are Badr and Adnan trying to avoid? Okay, why have they decided to divide the chores between them? ليش قرروا انهم يقسمون الأعمال بينهم? Because they do not want to argue about chores. Okay, ما يبغون يتخانقون عن الأعمال المنزلية, ف they decided to divide the chores between them. Now the next question, how do Badr and Adnan divide up the chores? خلاص, كيف قسموا الأعمال بينهم? Okay, of course I told you they were doing it in a friendly way, okay, and they were mainly negotiating, قاعدين يتفاوضون. But how did they divide the chores? Okay, they will both clean their own rooms. Okay, each one of them will clean his own room. You are responsible for your room and I'm responsible for mine. كل واحد مسؤول عن غرفته. They will each clean a bathroom. Each one of them will clean a bathroom. كل واحد منهم راح ينظف وانتو بكرامة حمام. Okay, they will take turns cleaning the rest of the apartment. راح يتناوبون على تنظيف الشقة. Adnan will wash the laundry and Badr will fold it. خلاص, Adnan will wash, راح يغسل الملابس, and Badr is responsible for folding it, اللي هو ترتيبهم أو خلاص. Now the last question, what chore does neither, okay, you can pronounce it neither or neither, both of them is correct, of them want to do? خلاص. What solution, okay, what chore does neither of them want to do? خلاص, أي شنو اللي من الأعمال المنزلية ولا واحد منهم يبغى يسويه يعني. What solution does Badr offer? Of course it was the cooking. Neither of them wants to cook. Okay, so Badr suggests that they order take-out food often. راح يطلبون من برا يعني بشكل مستمر تقريبا يعني often. Okay, or يعني every now and then. Right? Okay, so these are the questions. Now you have listened to a couple of expressions. Okay, the first one was, okay, you can take a look here. This is a cup of tea, and he said, sorry, not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea. What do we mean by that? طبعا الإكسبريشن أحيانا هي الترجمة الحرفية مختلفة تماما عن المعنى المقصود فيه، فنسميها expressions. Not my cup of tea. I've written the translation in Arabic. ما راح أنطقها، راح تعتمد عليكم. But in English it means a polite way to say you do not like something. So if I say cooking is not my cup of tea، يعني أنا ما أحب الكوكينج كثير، ما أحب الطبخ كثير. Okay. Now they said, one of them said, no sweat. And no sweat, okay, this is sweat. From the picture you see, this is sweat, okay? But it means, it is an expression which means no problem, okay? Now the next one, okay, when they agreed on the same thing, or they were thinking of the same thing, okay, they said, or one of them said, on the same wavelength. خلاص؟ wavelength اللي هي زي الموجة. خلاص؟ So they were thinking the same thing, right? So we are on the same wavelength when it comes to that. Okay? Now, before we move on to the next slide, قبل ما ننتقل للشريحة الثانية, I'd like to ask you this question. If you have decided to move in with a friend or to share the same apartment with a friend, okay, لو صارتوا في موقف you are in Bedr's and Adnan's shoes، لو انتوا في نفس مكانهم، what would you do about the house, the chores اللي هي الأعمال المنزلية؟ okay, how are you gonna divide the chores between you؟ يعني إذا انتوا في نفس موقف بدر وعدنان وبتنتقلون للعيش في شقة مع بعض، أو مثلا في مهجع مع بعض، كيف راح تتناقشون أو كيف راح تقسمون الأعمال المنزلية بينكم؟ okay? So put yourself in their shoes، حطوا نفسكم في مكانهم، and write down in the comment box below، في بوكسات التعليقات، what would you do in this situation؟ إيش راح تسوون في هذا الموقف؟ Now let's move on. We said also that we will learn how to express negotiation, okay, or negotiating. Negotiation اللي هو التفاوض. Negotiating it's the same، التفاوض. خلاص. So when you're negotiating يعني قاعدة تتفاوضين مع شخص، okay، يعني المفاوضة مثلا إذا كنتي في وظيفة، أو مثلا مثل بدر وعدنان they were talking in a polite way how to divide the chores between them، يعني قاعدين يتناقشون أو يتفاوضون كيف يقسمون الأعمال بينهم. So negotiating معناها التفاوض. Now you can say how about if I and you؟ okay, for example يعني مثلا how about if I take this and you take this؟ مثلا تفاوض. okay. Now they said how about if I clean one and you clean the other؟ تذكرون لما كانوا يتكلمون عن الباثرومز؟ how about if I clean one and you clean the other؟ I think it would be fair if. طبعا negotiating يعطيك مفتاح إلى طرق للحوار، ويعني ممكن you can google it and you look it up in Google، ممكن تبحثون عنه في Google and you see what I mean exactly by negotiating. I think it would be fair if you clean yours and I clean mine. Sorry, I've forgotten to add this. If you clean yours and I clean mine. من العدل إذا أنت تنظف حقك وأنا أنظف حقي. Okay? Now, if you agree, you can say, I'm sure we can work this out. خلاص؟ يعني إذا أنا موافق ما عندي أي مشكلة. I'm sure we can work this out. Now, also, there is a one expression that was mentioned in the conversation, and we mean by it negotiating, which is okay, I'll agree to if you will. خلاص كأنه يعني تفاوض كأنه شيء مشروط يعني. Okay, so okay, I'll agree to do the dishes يعني غسيل الصحون if you will do the laundry. Okay, clear? Now, also, would you be willing to if I? Okay, would you be willing to do the laundry if I do the dishes? طبعا المفروض يكون سؤال يعني المفروض question mark. Okay, so would you be willing هل راح توافق مثلا إذا أنت تسوي مثلا تغسل الملابس وأنا يعني أغسل الأطباق. Okay, before we end up this lesson, I'd like to share this quote with you, and it is about negotiating, okay, or negotiation. It says here, negotiation means getting the best of opportunity. التفاوض معناها أنك تحصل أو تأخذ أفضل الفرص. Okay, take a minute to reflect on this quote. Okay, أخذ دقيقة عشان تتأمل في هذا الاقتباس. Okay, and see if it's correct or not. Okay, or if we are on the same wavelength. أو مثلا إن احنا نفكر نفس التفكير. Okay, so right now, okay, the lesson has ended. انتهى الدرس. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, and I'll see you in the next lesson. But don't forget to subscribe, share the video with someone if you like it, and leave me a comment in the comment box below. Okay, so see you later.